What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So week 2 of the July Internationals is now over and we're back around to Monday, which means we're going to do a bit of a continuation with the series we started last week, which was quite fun. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it, where we'll be going over the world rankings in terms of the rugby, see how the games that happened on the weekend have shifted up the world rankings, and then afterwards we'll have a look at some of the Superbru results that went on the weekend, because there's a lot of big calls here. I did pretty badly, not gonna lie. Some of my predictions did not go right at all, but starting out with the world rankings. So of course a couple of big switch ups here, just very immediate off the back here. In terms of the top 10 is one of the main areas a lot of people will be focusing on. We see a big drop here. South Africa, of course, losing that game to Wales. South Africa drop from first down into third, which does say they've only dropped down by one. Maybe technically one of them overtook South Africa for first place before that game. I'm not sure why. South Africa were definitely first last week, so they've dropped down to third now. New Zealand losing to Ireland drops them down to fourth. We see France and Ireland both winning their games, moves them into first and second. No team rated over 90 now in terms of the point scheme, so that's a big switch up there. England overtake now Australia after winning their game. They move up into fifth. Australia down to sixth. And then Scotland and Wales both moving up, of course, because Scotland managing to beat Argentina, who dropped down, and Wales move up. In fact, I've just realised it's not talking about the number of places they've moved. It's what position they were in before this week. So obviously South Africa were in first, now down to third. Same with Wales, who were in ninth. They're now up into eighth. So a big drop for Argentina there. So all the Southern Hemisphere teams taking a real knock from last week's game. In terms of moving down the field a little bit more, there were some big turn-ups for the book, some games I haven't been able to catch a lot from. Georgia managing to beat Italy. Really big game. Haven't seen anything from it. Want to try and find some highlights of that game. Moves Georgia up into 12th. And Italy, we see, drop down into 14th after losing that game to Georgia. I'm not sure whether it was a first team Italy team. I'm going to need to go find some highlights and stuff around that. We also see Samoa moving up into that 13th position. Romania moving up. And then you've got all these teams like Portugal and Hong Kong as well moving up as well. Canada, yes. Canada lost their game to Spain, I want to say. I didn't catch anything from that, but I did think Spain were going to be able to win that one. So Canada dropping down into that 22nd, and then we move down towards some of these teams. I believe maybe we're actually doing okay at the minute. But yeah, mainly in terms of those top 10 teams, some big swaps there. Obviously, this will probably happen just throughout the July Internationals, because the same teams play each other so often. You'll tend to see teams overtake each other if they're close. Like, whoever wins next week between Australia and England, you might find that swaps back over. Ireland and New Zealand, there's not a lot of points actually separating them out, so you might see those swap back over. I don't really think we'll see Wales ever overtake South Africa from this July Internationals. I'm not sure how much they've actually gone up by in terms of their points. I'm not sure if there's a nicer breakdown anywhere. No, there isn't a breakdown to say what sort of points they actually got from beating South Africa. That would be a nice stat to know. It's quite nice you get to see a couple of them. What did Italy actually lose by? They lost 28 points to 19. That's a considerable game from Georgia. They'll be pretty happy with that outcome. But yeah, so France, new number ones going in. I mean, people are talking about whether the World Cup could be won. I wonder if they can hold it out for another year or so. Obviously, we'll see some switch-ups as we go through the July and the Autumn Nations as well as the Six Nations before the World Cup as well. A lot going on. A lot can change there. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens in South Africa, Wales' first game. I reckon all of these top 4 teams can take first place. France at the minute are looking like they're doing pretty well against Japan. So, they're going to be playing another game against Japan, you would imagine. In fact, that's 5 points. I didn't realise that game was so close, actually. I would imagine France are probably going to be winning those games, so they'll probably be not really looking to drop any points. It's whether South Africa potentially beating Wales next week might see them move back up. I think if Ireland managed to beat New Zealand, though, Ireland might be taking top. So that's the world rankings, guys. Some big switch-ups there. Let me know what you think of how the games went on the weekend. Of course, we did do all the match reports for them. But what do you think of some of these team switch-ups here? Are you surprised to be seeing some of these teams not winning their games or dropping down? I'm sure a couple of South African fans won't be happy to see them being knocked off that top spot. I think that might be the first time since the World Cup. I might be wrong on that we're not seeing South Africa in that first position there. So France, probably a couple of France subscribers really happy with that. In terms of the Superbru then, some big results coming in here. A lot of games not going the way I thought they were going to from looking at those teams doing those preview videos. In terms of the round then, Scott Rugby taking a pretty convincing win there. 9 points, Sambuca coming in 7.5. I did see a couple of Sam's picks on the weekend, just picking the opposite of me and getting them correct. So nice from him. Ian comes in third on 6.5, and then there's a draw here for fourth, all on 5.5 points. I somehow made it back into there. I have no idea how. I thought I did terribly this week. So many points. I also think we've had a couple of people join, because I feel like when I searched on my phone, we now are up to like 21 members instead of 19. So a couple of people joining in, which is really nice to see people wanting to get involved. Now, in terms of the leaderboard, we see... in fact, we can swim over to the leaderboard. Let's have a proper leaderboard. So Sarah Sari is still holding out there, just about on a total of 16 points. Not a superb round. This week, absolutely smashed it last week. Where is Cersei? Where did you finish? 3.5. Yeah, so a bad round from you as well. Looks like we were in the same boat in not getting some of those picks right, but still holding out first place. 16 points. Sambuca, huge recovery, up 5 places. How about that? Up to 15.5, really closing that gap. Scott Rugby as well, up 14 places. Wow, that's a big comeback. Up to 15 points. Bowie there, 14.5, Ian 13, Stormer 113. I've got a respectable 7th. Apparently I've moved up. I don't know how that's possible. I thought I had a terrible round. I've somehow moved up 2 places there to get into a joint 7th with Lord Nicholas there on 12.5. We're not massively far behind, but that's still quite a big gap to go in the final round. I'm going to need some people to really mess up. In terms of the wooden spoon, I never know this wooden spoon. For some reason, Sean's got the wooden spoon there. It does also say about... like the amount of games picked is something that I've seen recently on this. It actually now says like, oh, how many teams you actually picked. So we like Hassie there, unfortunately, didn't get any picks in this week. Obviously a little bit too busy with real life, probably outside of trying to do a Superbru game. Old Firm only picked 4 as well, so not getting those lock-ins can be a bit of a hindrance sometimes. So let's have a look at the overall matches, because a couple of these results I really haven't seen. Of course, we've got the board here. I did realise in editing last week that this is specifically like the results laid out in a bit of a bar graph for people who enjoy that sort of stat. So starting off, Samoa versus Tonga, 34-18. Yep, Samoa looking good. I picked Samoa by way more. I thought Samoa were going to really get a bit of a landslide. I was obviously on the higher end of that. A lot of people in this middle ground here, 17 to 15 sort of area. Yeah, that was probably about the right move to go. WRU 14, the only person to pick Tonga. Big call there, would have been a big result for you. Fiji versus Australia A. The only person to get points... Oh, no, sorry. Scottish Squid also got in there. Scott Rugby, though, big point scored in this game. Australia by 10. What did they win by? 14. Pretty damn good. Everyone else going for Fiji. Again, I went way too big. The Australia A game last week didn't look like they did particularly well. And Fiji looked like they were doing good. So I assumed Fiji were going to do well in this game. But apparently not. Australia A having a bit of a comeback there. France versus Japan. Yeah, a lot of people back in France, I imagine. Everyone looks like they back France. Where was I? I was down here. How much did they win by then? Oh, only 5. Really short, actually. Stormer 100 getting it bang on to get that bonus point there. Yeah, I thought France potentially were going to win that one by a bit more. I went a bit big. I need to start cutting my some of my scores down, apparently. So, yeah, nice little low-end score there is where your winner was at. New Zealand versus Ireland. Ian, the only person who went for an Ireland win. And yeah, kept it within the 5 points as well, so getting the bonus point there. So some of these outside calls ended up paying. Let's me again. I feel like in every single one of these, I've been about as far away as I can be, which is probably correct. If you see, this is actually my stats up here, what I picked. Look how much red is on that board. Absolutely terrible from me. Australia versus England. There was quite a 50-50 split here still, actually. Looks like it just across the world. In terms of the actual group, though, yeah, 3 people back in England there. Yeah, England looked better in this game. They went exactly how I thought they were going to when I said it in the preview video, and I just backed Australia. That's a bad move by me. England winning by 7. No one got it bang on, but Sambuca there on the closest call. Yeah, a lot of us were going for a low-end Australia score, looks like it. Unless you go to Bucky's there on 17. Big calls going on that the high win, yep. South Africa versus Wales. Now, I thought I was going to be in the minority here. I really thought a lot of people would be backing South Africa for this one. It looks like more of the group tended to back South Africa for this one. I just about got in here. And of course, I put out that little announcement that I picked Wales from the Superbru. I did put it out on the channel, to be fair, how much I was picking Wales to win by. And I got that little warning message saying, like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to back Wales for this one? It's just bizarre to read. Can't believe that was actually involved with the app. Probably not the best move by me putting how much I was going to do, because what's the first thing people do? Pick a few scores just below me. and then steal my bonus points. But it looks like a lot of people had the same sort of area there. 2-3 points to Wales. Extend a little bit down here to 5. But yeah, it looks like a real minority there picking Wales. So that was where a lot of my point sort of scoring came from in that one. Argentina versus Scotland. Wow, yeah, big split actually. A lot of people back in Argentina for this one. I was in that minority there. Scott Rugby, again, great pick in terms of the bonus point there. What did you pick? Scotland win by 12. Wow, yeah, and they went by 13. Wow, really on it in terms of rounds. This was absolutely your round this week. Yeah, again, 17% of people in the world picking Scotland. Really didn't think Argentina were going to do that. I really thought Scotland were looking good in that first game and just weren't cleaning it out. I was expecting it to be in the second game a bit more of a Scotland romping. I wasn't quite expecting it to be that much. That's a bit berserk, really. It doesn't really display the Argentinian instead in that one. On to Georgia, Italy. That 28-19 that we mentioned in the world rankings. Yeah. Again, Scott Rugby is on it. Wow, you've had some brilliant picks in this round. One of only 2 people to pick Georgia. Top notch Rugby also in there on that 5 points. Not getting the bonus point because Scott was just on it for this one. Yep, all of us going for Italy here. Where was I? I was quite high in Italy. I think Italy will be a little bit sad with that. Maybe I want to have a look at what the team was for that Italy team. I don't know if it actually says anywhere on here a bit of a general sort of breakdown so I can have a look at to actually see what the team was like. And then finally, Canada versus Spain. What a high scoring game. Again, haven't seen any highlights from this one. From what I understood, I thought Spain were probably going to be arguably the better team going, and it seems to have gone that way. Majority of people going for Canada. Canada's a bit more of a well-known team, so if you're not that big into your sort of tier 2, tier 3 nations, this can end up being a bit 50-50. From recent results, it looked to me... Well, that's the only game they've ever played. But it looked to me like Spain were winning theirs actually a little bit comfortably. I still don't know anything about the Spain rugby team, but Canada weren't really doing that well last year, so I assume Spain were going to be more on top for that one. I did pick 8. What did they win by? 23. Wow, yeah. So Kirin absolutely there. Getting the bonus point just for being the closest in the round, but not getting the match point there as well. So yeah, a bit of the recovery for me there, but yeah, absolutely. Look at the yellow bonus points there for Scott Rugby. Really killing it there on those 9 points. So it's getting a bit tight. I really thought after that first round, Sari was going to be away. I thought that lead was going to be too much to close up, but all it takes is 1 bad round, or 2 bad rounds if you're me, to not really get in there. So what I'm going to need from you guys is to do terrible picks next week to allow me to get back to the top. That's what I'm going to need. I suck at this predictor. I'm so bad at it. So many games not going the way I think. But thank you to everyone who has joined in. We are now up to 21. As said, that's the most we've ever had involved in one of these series. The channel's doing really well for rugby content recently, which is really nice. We've had about 100 new subscribers in the last month or so, just from covering some of the rugby stuff, which is awesome. Nice to see so many people getting involved. People seem to have been really enjoying the match reports. People have been leaving comments. Some people have been really helpful when it comes to like name pronunciations. People have been helping out. We've had a couple of very weird comments. I do try and delete some of the comments if they're a bit aggressive, just from some of the videos, because that's not what this channel's about. It's not about knowing everything about rugby. It's about fun. It's about enjoying the sport we all love, and just getting a bit of conversation, bit of stuff going around rugby and involving you guys. I enjoy that side of stuff. Be lighthearted. Enjoy the game. Pick your favourite teams. No need to be angry or super aggressive in the comments. But the majority of people really positive in the comments, which is so nice to see. Gives me a real boost. Doing a video takes a lot of time, especially when it's some of the match report days. 4 match reports in one day, in between game stuff. It's hectic as anything. It's an awful lot of work. So when people leave positive comments and talk about the game, and it's like one team saying congratulations to the other team, I love that sort of stuff. That's exactly what we want to live for in terms of rugby. I have now got a whole new PC setup, so that's what I'm doing these sorts of videos on now, where we can actually sort of, have a look at stuff a bit more interesting and on screen with me here. So I'm going to be having a look at trying to do a stream at some point just to test it. I've done a couple of bit of testing bits just to make sure it all holds up. I've still not quite got it 100% nailed down, but I might be trying to do a stream this week. Because the rugby's such big news at the minute, I might do some like Rugby 20 and just have a bit of conversation with people in the comments, have a bit of a chat about some of the games and stuff. I thought that might be fun. So I might be doing that on Wednesday, so keep an eye open for sort of Wednesday evening, UK time, I don't know, maybe sort of 7 p.m, 8 p.m. sort of time. We'll see if we can get one going. It might be like an hour, 2 hours or so. And so if you're around then, feel free to keep an eye on the channel. I'll see if I can get it live. and you guys can come jump in, join in the chat, ask some questions, we'll play some games, put some requests in for some games on Rugby 22 because it looks way better on the PC than it did on my Xbox, so it should hopefully all be a bit of a fun time. So check it out then to see if we can get a stream up live. If not, it's probably because I broke something on my computer. But I hope you all enjoyed today, guys. Remember to leave this video a like, and if you want to keep up to date with all of the rugby news and the streams and the videos and the match reports, all that good stuff, remember to subscribe to the channel just to keep up to date when all those videos go live on the channel. But I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys, and are surviving the heat wave that's currently going on in the UK. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.